Hey, welcome back to the Cybersecurity Whisper. This week we are on location at Lipscomb University, where my son is currently attending a basketball camp. So I thought, what a better time while he's in there learning cyber skills. Well, he's learning basketball skills, but it's interesting some of the things that the coaches were telling them early on that we can apply to life. One of the things he said, if I'm a college coach and I'm looking to recruit players for my team, there's a couple of things that I'm gonna look for in those players. The first is, do those players make it easier for everyone else to do their job? And the second thing he says is, when I talk to your high school coach or wherever you're coming from, I'm going to ask them, how do you respond in adversity? When you've got, challenges, how do you respond as a player? It's just very interesting in terms of just such, I'm not athletic. I couldn't, play basketball if I tried, even though I'm 6'5". And so I'm glad most of my kids got my wife's athletic abilities and can actually play some sports. But it's interesting, with team sports, I know there's a lot of fluff and there's a lot of politics, and I know, high schools and colleges pay the players too much and make a ton of money off of it. But nonetheless, there are really, you've got to really do a lot of practice, and it's all back to the basics. We talk about cyber and being back to the basics, and a lot of the drills they're running in there are some of the things that a lot of kids would consider boring. But if you can't work on those and master those and help others on the team, and again, not point at yourself. He was talking about, we've got to lift others up. You got to be clapping their hands and encouraging them, because he said it's not about you, it's about others. And that's a lot of life lessons there. Same thing that can be applied to a security. So let's dive in. If you haven't heard, you've probably been sleeping, but Google dropped, I'm not sure how you say it, I'm going to say it, Veo 3, which is a video generating AI, which is so good. I mean, your grandma might FaceTime a scammer and hand over the family jewels, because it creates movie quality deepfakes from just a few words. And sure, it's innovative, but it's also insanely terrifying, according to actual fraud experts. Remember that $25 million scam where a finance employee got duped by a deepfake CFO? I mean, that's the warm-up act, because Veo 3 makes fake interviews, fake conferences, heck, probably even fake breakups. And any detection tools? No, we're still playing catch-up with tech from 2 years ago. So here's your tips. You need to verify on video, confirm via another channel, use multi-factor confirmation for any executive action requests, especially financial ones. You've got to pick up the phone and call. You can't just take the word from the video. And you need to start deepfake awareness training for your employees. Next, for over 10 years, there's a site called AV Check. Now, this was like the malware developer's version of QA testing. You could upload a payload, fine-tune it until it's invisible to antivirus, and then launch it. I mean, easy breezy. But thanks to Operation Endgame, which is the coolest operation name of the year so far, law enforcement finally nuked it, along with a few malware, crypting cousin domains. So they even ran a fake login page to troll users before the takedown. So very, very cool there. So if you're not threat hunting in cloud sandbox environments yet, now's the time. Because remember, these CAVs, they're harder to detect with traditional controls. And so you need to track these tooling trends. And if your red team knows about it, your attackers do too. Now, a new report shows 53% of security department heads are ready to quit. Not someday, but now. Why? Really, they always state a lack of purpose, no growth, and being treated like ticket takers instead of strategy makers. So here's the kicker. Burnout isn't even the top problem, it's boredom. I mean, these pros want to lead, not play project ping pong. So give them ownership or give them a reason to ghost you on LinkedIn. So, bottom line, you need to empower your direct reports, give them real influence, not just JIRA tickets. You need to invest in talent development tied to their career progression. Otherwise, you're training your next competitors higher. Now, this is interesting. A new hacking group called UNC 6040, they're the spiritual sequel to Scattered Spider. They're teens, they're social engineering pros, and they're using fake IT calls to trick your employees into installing a Trojanized Salesforce data loader. And once installed, boom, your backend is theirs, and they wait. They study your data, then they extort, slowly, like a patient raccoon with your trash. So here's what you need to do. You need to review your help desk procedures and make sure your internal support never asks for software installs without multi-approval workflows. You need to roll out anti-phishing drills with phishing components, because email is not the only threat vector anymore. Next, cyber insurance used to be the let the finance guys deal with it kind of thing, but not anymore. Now, CISOs are actually influencing coverage, and guess what? Underwriters actually care about patching hygiene and how many skeletons are you hiding in your cloud configs. Bad hygiene, bad data hygiene leads to claims spike your premium, and insurance doesn't always pay the way you hope. So you need to partner with your insurance broker, your cyber insurance broker. If you don't know who that is, you need to reach out to your legal team or your insurance, your risk-based team and find out. You need to bring your security metrics to the table. You need your patching SLAs, your MFA stats, your third-party risk scores. You need to push for clarity on exclusion and breach response timelines in the cyber insurance. Don't assume anything. Well, that's a wrap on this week's episode of the Cybersecurity Whisper. So, if you like what you've heard, subscribe, share, maybe even send it to your boss. But remember, don't panic, don't click, and for the love of zero trust, don't download anything from techsupportforyou.biz. Catch you next week.